Good morning, friends. So we're going to go ahead and finish up our unit on Jesus' miracle of turning water into wine. So before we get started, I want you to, well, you don't have to do it right now, or you can if you have your packet with you, but you're going to go ahead and pull this packet out. And we are going to the second page. So we're going to work on page 2. So this is the page we're on. Okay, so I'm going to read it to you. So it says, Jesus first performed a miracle at a wedding. His mother, Mary, asked him to turn water into wine. Okay, so there's Jesus there. And then these are the two people who were married. Okay, so I want you to go ahead. If you have it, set it aside because I have our 5-minute Bible stories. And I'm going to read what this book says about Jesus turning water into wine. Okay, so it says water into wine. Mary and Jesus were at a wedding. Mary was worried. Jesus, there's no more wine. Fill these big jars with water, Jesus told the servants, then give some to the man in charge. When the servants did what Jesus told them, they were amazed. Jesus had turned ordinary water into the very best wine. And so it says, Dear God, you do amazing things. You are wonderful. Amen. So we learned yesterday that Mother Mary and Jesus and a few of his disciples were at a wedding together. And the servants, remember, in this case, a servant is the person who's working at the wedding. They gave out the last bit of wine. So Mother Mary saw this and she told Jesus, they ran out of wine. What can you do to help? And so Jesus asked the servants to fill up those large containers, or they're like, in our little video we saw yesterday, they were like, to me they look like something that you put plants in, but those were, the ones in the video that they showed were things that they used for religious purposes, especially during weddings, because a wedding is something that you do that has to do with religion. So Jesus asked the servants, please fill those up with water, and there were 6 of them. So the servants went and filled them up, and then remember he told the servant, dip the cup and take some out, and then take it to the man who works, or who's in charge of the wedding. And so the servant went ahead and did that, and the man in charge was like, wow, this is the best wine. And he called over the groom and told him, typically you give people the good wine first, and then you give them the ordinary wine. Or another way to think of ordinary would be, not bad, but it's not as good. But then he said, but you kept the great wine for the end. So the wine that Jesus made out of water was really good wine. So we are going to go ahead and it says we need to find the guests. So you're going to go back to this page. We are going to cut and paste. So we're looking for guests. So from the looks of it, our guests are here because they're holding wine glasses, or like they're holding chalice each. So we're going to go ahead and cut that out. And remember, if any pieces fall off, do not throw them away because they all have a spot in our booklet. Okay, and make sure you also do not go ahead. We are doing each miracle, one miracle every 2 days. Okay, so I want us to take our time to really learn about the miracles that Jesus performs, versus just getting the packet done. So make sure that you're only cutting and pasting for today's miracle, which is Jesus turning water into wine. So you're going to go ahead and grab this one. Okay, so those are the guests at the wedding. And you can go ahead and put some glue down and paste the guests. Okay, and so when you're done, your page is going to look like this. Okay, so here's Jesus here, and then the guests, and then this is the couple that got married, so the bride and the groom. Okay, that is all of our work for today. So starting on Monday, we will then be learning about how Jesus fed more than 5,000 people with only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. So that's what we will do on Monday. Okay, so look out for your language arts video that's coming up next.